If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, please seek help. You are not alone in this battle. There are people there to help you.
Welcome back, everybody, to This Is It. My name is Devin.
And I'm Brad.
And today we have a very special episode for you. We are sitting down with none other than SusBoy Darius.
That is right. Darius is a graphic designer, photographer, videographer, and creator of the clothing line Sensitive Creatures. He is based out of Springfield, Massachusetts, but he currently resides in Los Angeles, California. We're going to be talking to Darius about his experience with mental health, specifically anxiety and depression.
And me and Brad also open up about our experiences with them as well. We talk about coping mechanisms that we found work for us, and Darius also talks about things that work for him too. Just as a disclaimer, if someone you know or yourself is struggling with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, whatever it may be, make sure you reach out to a professional. Make sure you talk to someone. Anybody's always open and willing to listen.
Yeah, make sure you seek professional help if you are able to. If you're not able to, or if you feel like someone needs that treatment or that help, we will have links in the description below. Also in the episode, at the beginning and the end, we're going to have the number for the Suicidal Prevention Hotline. Seeing that it is Mental Health Awareness Month, we felt that it was necessary to pretty much shine a light on this issue. With that being said, we'll also go into the fun things, which is Darius's work. We're going to be talking about the work that he's done, the work that he plans to do in the future as well. So this is going to be a really good episode. We're going to get into some things that we normally don't get into, but we felt were really necessary for this one.
So you know the drill. Get ready. This is episode 20 with SusBoy Darius. Welcome back, everybody, to This Is It. My name is Devin. I'm here joined alongside Brad, and today we have somebody very special in the studio. What's happening, Darius? How you doing, bro?
It's good, bro. I'm good.
Thank you for coming through, as always.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no
Darius,
problem.
thank you for coming through to our humble studio here. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk to you a lot of stuff today. So we get into it quite a bit today, but before we begin all that, we just want to know about you. Tell the people about yourself.
Well, I'm 21 years old, just turned 21. From Springfield, Massachusetts. Think you guys know that?
Yeah.
I take pictures, I do graphics, I have merch, do videos too.
Nice.
Play Fortnite. That's about it.
How many wins you got?
Like 15 to be exact.
15,
Nice.
Man.
I got one.
Wood, bro.
One solid
You gotta
one.
play a little more.
I got to build better.
Sad part is I play a lot.
Yeah,
I just can't build.
I get anxiety when it comes to building.
What?
Me
My
too.
chest to be like, what the fuck, my hands get sweaty.
As soon as I see that figure go up in the sky, I'm like, just take me. But you do a lot. But I think what people might know, might not know, but you're 21 years old.
Yeah,
So how long have you been doing the graphic work, the photography, and stuff like that?
I don't even know the exact year. I would say like 2015, 2016, around there.
So we're at 2019 now, so about like 3-4 years span between that. What was your future with design or with art looking like when you first started out? What were some of your goals when you first started out?
When I first started off, it was doing like t-shirts and stuff. I was trying to make like the coolest t-shirts, and I couldn't do that because my abilities just weren't there. But like over time, I started doing graphics graphics for teachers first, and then I moved on to like covers back in like probably senior year of high school. I was doing that in like literally doing that in class, and then in college I was doing it in class too.
Yeah. So that led to just pretty much a whole bunch of other things. What were some of your influences as far as design, graphic design specifically?
Influences. There's like a few people. Like this dude who does shit for like Post Malone. I don't even know his name, but he's fire. He does shit for like, I don't know this girl's name, but he just does fire artwork. And this other dude from Brockhampton, he's pretty hard too. So those are like my two for like cover art, I would say.
Yeah.
And then for like merch, I don't know, I just make up stuff in my head and I just play with it.
Really?
Pause.
I like it.
Yeah, because every time I see a new cover art from you, or somebody releases a new song or something around here, I can tell that it's your cover art because you have a very distinct like type of design makeup. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I know it's either you or it's somebody else.
Yeah.
Like but 9 times out of 10 I'm like, yup, that's Darius's like cover art right there. That shit's fire. And then I see another one, I was like, oh shit, like that one's even better than that one. And it's something very defined. Was it hard for you to find like your own type of lane within that?
Yes and no. I don't know. I want to be kind of like different. I want every like cover to look different than the next one.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like when I first started doing a cover, like I get so nervous, bro. Like,
really?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I get overwhelmed and shit. Like, damn, I want this to be so great. And then for an hour, I'm just literally like thinking of ideas. What should I do? And then play with it. And then probably like 2 hours later, I come up with some fire shit. And then I'm like, damn, I'm like the GOAT. It's like some bipolar shit. Like, what?
So it's like an ebb and flow each time. Like you go into it, and each idea that you come up with is just like immediately scrapping it. You're like you're constantly going through the brainstorming phase of everything.
Yeah, it's just hard.
Yeah. What was some like the hardest? What was the hardest cover art for you to do?
To be honest, when it comes to like big name people, I get nervous because like, damn, I gotta impress these people. But then it's like, nah, I'm gonna just do my own shit, and then that's why they like my shit, cause it's my own shit.
Who's some of the cover art that you've worked for?
Well, I've done a lot. I would say like Made in Tokyo, and Smokey Margello was like one of my favorites. Like with a red car.
Into one specific area, because I know me and you have been friends for a while now,
Yeah,
probably like 4 years or so. And I've seen you grow as an individual more, so I've seen you grow as a creative, and it's something very like eye-opening, and it's really nice to see when people grow. I want to take you back to December of 2017. This is when you quit your job and you left school and you moved out to LA. What was the thought process going through your head with that?
Shit. Well, like a month before I went to ComplexCon in November.
Yes.
Then I was like, fuck, I gotta be here. Shit, like the weather is crazy. Then all the people I was meeting within like a week span and all this shit already happening. So I know school ended like, I don't know, like a week before my birthday. 24 hours hit me after I did like a video for ComplexCon. I posted it and then he was like, yo, like I want you on the team or whatever. I was like, word.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest thing that ever happened to me. So I'm like, fuck it, like I have 1 semester left of school. Worst case, I'll just come back and I'll finish school. So I told my mom and dad, because I know they would have just let me drop out of school.
Yeah.
So I told them like, oh, I'm just gonna go during the vacation, that break, to California for like a month. Like, okay, then I go there. I'm like, nah, I really like this. So I take another month off my job. I take a month vacation, then I take another month off, and then my job was like, what the hell, like, what's going on? And but they heard about like the shit I was doing, I guess, from like people.
Yeah.
So they left me like a nice voicemail, whatever, and like congratulating me and shit. But then we just went separate ways, so I quit that other job and shit. And then I ended up telling my parents like, oh, I think I'm gonna stay here. And I didn't have a spot back then. Like when I first moved out here, I came to my Dylan Reese's house.
Yeah.
And Bobby and Steve and all of them. And I was sleeping on their couch for like 5 months until I got my actual apartment with George. But the whole process was crazy. Like, it's crazy moving from one end of this like country to the other end of the country. It's like 2 different worlds almost.
What was that culture shock for you, like coming from the East Coast, then going to the West Coast?
Well, the first thing is like everything's so damn spread out. That's just different. Like everything's so close here. You could drive 15 minutes. You're like in a whole different like city. I would say like ethnicity too. Over there. There's no Puerto Ricans. There's no Dominicans, bro. So the only Spanish people and Mexicans. Like fuck, they're like my family now. Like I feel half Mexican, half Puerto Rican. I would say homeless people. It's nuts. It's like a different world.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we went out there in January. We knew they had a homeless problem, but we didn't know they had a homeless problem.
It's literally number one like in the world, I think. Like
I've never seen more homeless people in my entire life. It's like I became comfortable with like just being
wild as shit.
Like they're just walking right by you. I'm like, yo, what up?
But that place was like a contradiction. Like you have all this beautiful weather, sunshine, like the culture, and then
money.
Majority of the you saw Lambos flying by because we were down by like the financial district, and then seeing like 10, 15 people who are clearly homeless. Like, and on top of that, like seeing them like they clearly have like there's something's not there. You know what I mean?
It's like, I don't know. When it comes to that shit, it's like, you can only do so much, but then you can at least try to help, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like most homeless people is like a mental health problem.
Yeah.
One is like a mental health problem, they can't ever help themselves, so like they need to be helped, and then two is just like lazy people. So, but I think it's more mental health than that. Like, people can't do shit, or people just lose shit. Like, I was watching this shit on YouTube, and this dude was an accountant for like years, and then out of nowhere he just got like fired, and he was homeless for like, now he's homeless for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't just get a job, you know? And now he gets checks like he would get like a check once a month for like $200. Like, what do you about to do with $200, you know?
Exactly.
You can only eat, and that's it.
So how long were you living out in LA before you decided to come back?
Well, I still got my apartment out there.
Yep.
But when I first went out, I went there for like 3 months, came back for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went again for like 2 months, then came back for like another month, and then went out there for like, I don't know, it's just like I just keep, every couple months I just want to come back.
And I remember when you were out there back in like January, you went on tour with 24 Hours, right? And how did that relationship come about? I'm a big fan of 24 Hours. I like most of his music. I think he's really like slept on, especially within the music industry. He has a lot to give. So I fuck with him just as on that music level, and then just seeing you being the lead videographer for him, I was like, yo, this is kind of weird, but like this is cool. Like I like him. But yeah, how'd all that come about?
Well, like I said, with the video from CompassCon, he saw that, and then he reached out to me, and then like I was like, yo, I'm coming like January or whatever. So we met up at his house, and we just talked about like what we want to do, like. So I was doing like vlogs for him, and then literally like 3 days later, he had a show at P&B Rock in New York, and he just like flew me out. I didn't even know this guy. He's already flying me out. I was like, fuck it. So I was like, from that day, I was like, damn, I really fuck with this dude just from that, like. And he was just a real cool dude, and he still is.
So you kept coming back and then going back out there, coming back, going back out there. What was the need for that, do you think? Because I know our conversation that we had in our DMs, and that's what I want to lead into eventually.
To be honest, it's like when you go from like one place and having family and friends and all that, and then you go to like LA, across the world, you don't really have that much friends and stuff, so you feel lonely like a lot. So I just would come back like often just to be with my family and get that feeling again.
Yeah. Did you underestimate how much like being that far away from them affected you?
Nah, I didn't really think about it. Like when I got the opportunity, I was like, I'm gonna just leave, and then it didn't really catch up to me till like a little after the tour. I was like, damn, I'm really on tour. Like 3 months ago I was in college, or 2 months ago I was in school handling my tests, and now I'm on tour. It's crazy.
Yeah, so like the adjustment period for you was like, like you had to like get along with it really quick.
Yeah, like it like made me grow up super quick. And I was like a shy person too before. Now I feel like I'm more open and I could like talk more, and because I've been around more people and had to like talk more just to make my way.
Yeah, so in the end it kind of did provided some positives.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with coming back and forth, just in a kind of like recharge your batteries, you know, like see your people and stuff like that. Do you see that becoming a challenge for you as you get further along in your career, or do you feel like, you know, you're at a point where since you can choose and stuff like, you know, I don't want to answer the question for you, but like,
exactly. Like, I feel like going in the future, I could be like mobile and shit, because I do graphics, so I could go out here and then just chill out here for a little and then go back. And I think I'm more like mentally prepared, so when I go back, I could deal with certain things I couldn't deal with before, like that would just stress me out and overwhelm me. So now,
What was, you know, while you were out there, having this feeling of like no friends, no family, somebody like really like just trying to like lean on somebody basically, what was the hardest thing about that, other than like not having them?
It's a good question. I don't know. Like I know, but like I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember seeing like while you were out there, it was. I vaguely remember this was like you were on a sidewalk with like a couple of trees. And you were just like snapping, or you put on like an Instagram story and you were talking about depression. you're talking about mental illness and what that does to an individual, especially like when they're lonely in a new place, especially being like across the country. And when I saw it, I was like, damn, this is unfortunate, because I feel like this happens a lot. But what I like applaud you for doing, we live in a very, you know, materialistic culture. We live in a world where it's Instagram savvy, Twitter, it's instant gratification, and everybody's living their best life. And here you come switching up the game, being real with individuals, and being real with yourself, and being real with what's happening. And that's something that, you know, is very hard to find, especially in today's culture, in today's society.
Yeah, I feel like people nowadays, bro, like they don't want to even say how they really feel. Like they're too scared of like something bad's gonna happen, or people are gonna have a different perception of them. But like, I feel like you should just be yourself, because that's when people like you the most anyways. Like people don't like fake people unless you're fake.
Yeah,
People don't like fake people, and I hate fake people, so I always had to be real people, and I just hate lying too.
Yeah. So going out to LA, because that kind of type of personality trait, admittedly, isn't something that we think of when we think of LA culture, quote unquote LA culture. So what was it like for you trying to fit, or not shouldn't say fit in, but trying to navigate that sort of social structure?
That's one of the weirdest things ever, to be honest. Especially that I'm so shy. Well, I was so shy. But like, just say somebody was just corny, right? Like, and I'm around a corny person, I just wouldn't talk that much. Just like, I don't want to ruin something, but there were so many like people that were just like corny or just fake, and I just didn't want to, you know, try to fit in and be like that. So I would just be like an outcast, like. But I guess I stood out from that too, just from like everybody else is like, you know, all loud and stuff, and I'm just sitting on the couch doing nothing. So I guess it creates conversation.
Well, kind of goes back to what you're saying. It's better to be so. Yeah. Because especially out there, a lot of the relationships aren't really based in just friendship. It's always like transactional to an extent. So that's something like when we went out there, something like we kind of spoke to a few people about, and it's tiring. That's like the underestimated part of it. Yeah. Like for you, it had to be kind of not exhausting, because that was your personality anyways, but just knowing that in these spaces, that's like the type of people you're gonna be like surrounded with for the most part. Is that at that point did you have to find, what were your ways to kind of I wouldn't say cope, but you know, get through that, because that's probably like the hardest part, really. I shouldn't say hardest part.
To be honest, while like stuff was going on, I would just text my friends and stuff like that, and like tell them how I was really feeling, because I didn't want to tell these strangers like, oh, like who's this weirdo? This dude's like talking about how he feels. So I would just text my friends, and I would just like feel better after that, and then go on with my day.
Yeah, it's hard to confide in somebody that you really don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's awkward.
And like,
it's not awkward, but it's just like, it's hard to just open up and like tell them how you really feel.
Exactly, because you don't know if they actually care.
Yeah.
Because like they don't really know who you are. So why am I gonna care for somebody I don't know about? It just seems. I get you. I feel you. Yeah. I want. Well, keep going.
I was just about to say real quick, like, starting to have empathy for a person you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like ingrained in our, or I'd say that's maybe East Coast mindset sort of thing, or maybe, I don't know, because that's all I know of East Coast. So maybe like, let's just say where I place, I see that most commonly, I should say. Because like New York is notorious for just head down and keep walking. Don't say a word. Like you'll never get a good morning out where we're at. You know?
I like that about LA though. It's kind of like, even though it's fake, at least it's happy. Like it's kind of happy. For the most part, it makes you feel good, like the weather. Like, you can just have a conversation with anyone almost.
I want to talk about, there's this huge stigma surrounding men with mental health.
Yeah.
And I know this was something that you wanted to talk about specifically, is the mental health system that's in place currently, and you know what needs to be improved, but more so men speaking out about their mental health. Because, you know, we see on Twitter or social media that, you know, if somebody speaks out about how they really feel, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be called, like, not really a man. They're not going to be, they're too sensitive. They're not, you know, masculine. They should hide it, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, I struggle with anxiety and depression, and, like, I'm not afraid to admit it, because I need help all the more the same as the next guy that struggles with it, that might be adverse to sharing it. So I just want to hear your thoughts about this.
I feel like almost everybody in this world suffers from at least some type of like mental health like mental health. I feel like the stigma when you say somebody has mental health issues, it's like it's already you think that person's like a bad person or he's crazy or whatever. But it's like no, you could go along your day. You could be so successful and still have mental health issues, you know. But people just think it's a bad trait or something, and it's not. What did you say earlier about you said something about I forgot what you said.
Oh, okay.
Can you rephrase one of the questions you said?
The system that's set up
Oh,
for
yeah.
mental health.
Oh yeah,
Because we're talking about with like homeless people
yeah.
too.
We talked about that earlier.
Oh yeah, like before we started recording, I was speaking about just the institutions that are in place to help people out who have mental health illnesses. So, because I'm from Connecticut, it's it's a more liberal state than others. So like I was talking to you about before, like to see a psychiatrist, it costs me like $35. So that's just like the special price off my mother's insurance.
Yeah.
So granted, healthcare in this country is just a whole separate discussion. That's a whole other can of worms. But I was just interested to know, like, especially as men of color, the way mental health is brought up in our households is a lot different than maybe Devin's. I didn't really know about the term depression or anxiety until I got to college.
Yeah.
So like the conversations never came up in my household because if those symptoms came up, a lot of the times they tell you man up or they tell you stop being sensitive or just like things
Stop being such a bitch.
Yeah.
It ain't go that far with me.
Nobody know how
Be like that.
We're trying to get deep.
But you know, just like
a girl might say that.
I'm just like interested to know, like for you, how was it for you coming to grips with this condition? Like because I don't want to kind of say you probably had the same upbringing in regards to I did, like how I just described it, but you know, being a man of color, I assume it wasn't easy for you to, you know, bring this to your family members, like, look, there's something wrong with me, and it's not physical, you know what I mean?
Well, the first time I, like, knew what depression was when, like, after my grandma passed away. And, like, my parents didn't ask me, they found out almost, because, like, I don't know, I'm in my room, you know, all the time and shit, like, just in bed all the time. You figure out like why is this kid always in bed, right? And then I'm going to school and shit. I'm just like super depressed, bro. So like when I would go home, I would think of like the worst shit. And when I was by myself, I was just like I would really feel like I want to kill myself. And when people say they want to kill themselves, they don't like people don't ask why. They just get like oh shit, like they just freeze up there and they don't have the conversation afterwards. But I felt like I wanted to kill myself, and I guess somebody reported that to like I don't know the counselor at school or some shit. Because when I had school that Monday or that Tuesday or whatever, they were like pulled me to the office and then I had to talk about it. That's like the most awkward shit, but like it's kind of cool at the same time because you know like you don't have to do this, or that person that reported that to the counselor didn't have to do that. But then that's how my mom found out like it's a serious issue. You let something off your chest, so now people know, but then it's like people are gonna judge you now. So it's like not that I wouldn't say I really care about opinions, but some opinions do affect you. Like if it's a close person, like this dude's kind of, you know, and they're pushing themselves away from you. It makes you kind of second guess yourself and them too. I feel like it was more like they felt bad for me. And I kind of hated that. Like, why do you feel bad for me, right? Like, I don't know. I didn't want to be like a charity case almost. Like let's feel bad.
You didn't want to be pitied.
Yeah, like it was why I didn't want people to do that.
Yeah, that's definitely a common feeling too because even though we do seek help, and it should be noted that you should seek help. If something's wrong with you, you should go get that help. But it's a lot different than, say, you sprained your ankle or if you fractured your arm. Like, no one's, like, thinking about you constantly, like, I wonder if he's okay. Like, if I fractured my arm before, like, oh, you got a cast on it, are you good?
Yeah.
Like, you can't really do that with someone's psyche. You can't do that with someone's brain.
Yeah, because it's untouchable.
Yeah, so, and you can't see it. It's like, it's just, like, you're the manifestation of that. And it's easy to hide it. It's not hard to hide.
Super easy to hide.
People become good at it when they experience it more and more. You find ways around it. Oh no, I'm just bored. You start putting off things that like you're not really that you normally do. Like I want to go hang out with my friends. I'm gonna fold laundry.
Yeah, like I'd rather just stay inside.
Yeah, it's small tactics like that become maneuverable, and it becomes. I don't want to say it's like a game, but you start to understand that like
it's your new structure, it's your new life. It's like decisions that you usually make with a certain outlook, you look at it in like a totally different end now.
You know what's weird too? Sometimes I don't even know I'm depressed. Like I'll be like I don't know, like the last 4 days have been super good for me. And then like out of nowhere, I don't know, maybe like next week I'll be depressed one day and out of nowhere I'll be in a slump for like a week or two.
That's
like,
exactly what happens. It
Yeah,
comes
it's
like,
like-
for me, I'd be fine, and then all of a
Out of
sudden
nowhere.
it comes and it hits hard.
Yeah.
And I'm down for like 2, 3, 4 days,
Yeah.
and then I remember who I am, and like
Yeah.
I'm out of it, and it's a rough cycle. But it doesn't happen often, but like when it happens, it happens. I say it happens.
That's
like
why for
every
me-
3 months.
For me, like sometimes I have to tell myself like I'm great, like this and that, and I have to just make myself feel better. Cause that's what keeps me out of depression, to be honest. Like flexing sometimes makes you
Yeah.
feel good, you know? Like not because it's like it brings attention, but it just makes you feel like, all right, I got something to like almost live for, you know? I gotta like,
You got something to prove,
Yeah.
and you gotta keep
Yeah.
at that same level, and you can't get to that level if you're
yeah,
down
just-
and out.
yeah,
You
it's
know.
just- yeah, that's what I noticed. Like I noticed you can't like mix business with emotions. I didn't know what that really meant when I used to hear that, but like you really can't.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in my position, I feel like I can because that is my business, you know?
Emotion is
Yeah.
yours, yeah. I mean, I was just about to ask you again because putting all that out, which is really personal, you know what I mean?
And really scary too.
Yeah.
At times, so I
Yeah.
just amend you for
Yeah. Now I feel like I'm used to it now. But like I don't know. I feel like I was never scared to go on the internet and say how I feel. Maybe because I was like a shy person. I didn't want to talk to nobody, so that was the only way of letting it out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I really started doing it, to be honest.
So what do you hope going forward? You know, making your battles vocal and yourself vulnerable to this. What do you hope to like make? What type of impact do you want to make, or what do you want to see happen?
People like have more conversations about it.
Mm.
And, like I don't want there to be a stigma anymore on like mental health.
Mm.
Yeah. Because if we talk about it, like so much things can be solved in this world. Like it's crazy how, like the endless possibilities it could be if people open up like, yeah, I have mental health, this is why I did that, and then because people like when people, as bad as it sounds, like when we were talking about the shooting, where was it again?
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah,
like,
the mosque one.
that's the thing he did was nuts, but like let's figure out why he did it so we can prevent it from happening before. Because if he felt like if we stopped that dude from happening, like made him feel good about himself, he wouldn't have like killed mad people. You know, if we could have like possibly stopped. Put him, or at least put him in an institute where he couldn't have done that, or do something.
I think with him that's like a twofold issue. It's
Yeah.
like people who aren't mentally stable having access to automatic rifles.
Yeah, anybody can get it.
Yeah, so like I'm glad that New Zealand is talking about changing those laws so it's not as accessible to those types of people. But yeah, like in those rare cases, and even still like separating mental health issues from the people who commit those kind of acts, because if you put them all, I shouldn't say if you put them all under one umbrella, it kind of pollutes the whole thing, but it's just kind of like when you do talk about mental health and stuff like that, it's like the stigma we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually the first thing that comes to people's mind might be like people like that shooter in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think we definitely got a ways to go to like separate those two aspects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not to say that they're two sides of the same coin, but it just feels like there's a whole lot more factors drawn into that guy than just being depressed or
Yeah.
having anxiety. I think there's a lot. There has to be a lot in place to take you from that
Yeah.
to what he committed.
Yeah, it's like there's like different ends in the spectrum of mental health.
Yeah.
This was like way.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
like
Like he needs to be
cut him off.
not in jail, but put him somewhere like.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely an unfortunate issue, and again, like seeing that type of thing happen, like you're saying, like the basis for that, like guy turned it into what he turned into.
Mhm.
He didn't start out that way, most likely. He didn't come out his mom's womb like that. Like something he learned, like that's things that like he picked up or, like in the world.
Yeah.
So whatever led him to that decision, I don't think he had mental health issues just from like what I've seen with that
Mhm.
guy. I think he's just a real bad motherfucker. Like,
That
I
he
don't
just, like-
think he had anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't think he had suffering depression. I think he just really hated a group of individuals and thought of the most violent way to carry out that act. Like that's what I mean. Like mental health can't be the scapegoat for people.
Yeah.
It has to stop.
But
Mental health has to stop.
what if though like his brain, like something was wrong with his brain that made him think like that though?
A white supremacist, you're right. There has to be something wrong with your brain in order for you to like follow
Yeah.
that train of thought. But still, it's just like there's a population that exists specifically within this country that feels like the world is owed to them because of their skin color. And if
it's
anyone,
okay, you can say it. I'll say it for you. White people. we were all thinking it.
I was about to get to the climax, but Devin got to beat me to it. But it was like, yeah, like just that type of shit happening and seeing how.
And it's not all white people. It's just it's a certain group because I don't think the world's
like even like kind of getting back to my point. I wouldn't say like I'm not the guy like yo white people, but like I'll joke like my people that know me like I'll joke like that, but. When I think of that guy, I'm not looking at Devin like Devin gonna shoot me one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like it has to get down to the individual at the same time. Like if when we speak of mental health, we look at the people who suffer from these issues in a monolith. And unfortunately, that guy gets lumped into it because the shit he did was so wild. Like we like, oh, he has to have something.
Yeah.
Like granted, there is something wrong with you to do that. There is something wrong with you, but I don't think it's something along the lines of what we're talking about. Yeah, I think
what we're talking about, you know, because I don't want to focus on this catastrophe that happened because I don't want to pay any type of mind because it's unfortunate. I don't want to give him the time of day, but because of people like him, he gives the idea of mental health a specific stigma.
Yeah.
This idea that you're not right in the head or something along those lines, because we see all too often events like this, Newtown, Aurora, Colorado, San Bernardino, and the list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
It's mass shootings from the idea of a mental health standpoint that gives people who would never think about doing that, who suffer from mental health, that specific stigma where that separation between the individual and the corporation comes in.
I think they should, back to remember how we were talking about like what should they change about, like in high school I think they should teach mental health because like in health class they teach you like what to eat, this and that, but they don't ever talk about alright, depression and actual have like a course on it and like make people familiar with it.
Yeah, because like you're saying, if you're not exposed to that, then you just don't know. You just like, what the fuck is going on? I mean, if you're not coming from the area, or if you're not coming from like a position where like that type of information is available to you, like you're pretty much at the mercy of your own brain at that point.
It's just the lack of knowledge at this point, and it's important for people to have these conversations, like how we're having these conversations, to use it as a platform to gain an understanding for it, but also to be open to show that like other people aren't alone, and you know that's the biggest part of this is everybody feels like they're fighting an invincible battle by themselves when they're really not. There's multiple people they can lean on. It's scary though for a guy to open up and say, hey, this is who I really am and this is what's really happening and what can I do, who can I lean on, what needs to happen.
And sometimes you need to like to make a difference, like you have to kind of be like kind of crazy almost. Like you have to like to say like I want to kill myself, this isn't that. I felt like that, but I didn't have to voice my opinion, but I wanted to just to make people like change and talk more and stuff. Like if you make people feel uncomfortable, eventually they're gonna change and stuff, you know, they're gonna have to talk about it eventually. You put a dude in the corner, eventually he's gonna open up about what he did.
With you, was it a hard a hard decision, but the feedback that you got from that statement, was it something, what were you planning to do with that feedback? Or not feedback, that response I should say. Because now, since you said it on the internet, specifically tweeted it, right? It's like now it opens this dialogue. What did you want that dialogue to be about?
At first I didn't even want no dialogue, to be honest.
You just wanted to get it out there.
Yeah. That's why I did like the clothes and stuff, to be honest. I could like put that out there and not even have to talk to anybody. Just put it out there and just y'all can feel it, and then I don't know. Like for me, I like getting shit off my chest almost and like saying how I feel, and then it just makes me feel better. And I don't like, sometimes I just don't want to have a response to people. Like I don't have to like explain myself.
And like the shirt you're wearing, for the people that probably can't read it, the shirt says, "When I die, don't pretend to care."
Yeah.
That's a heavy statement.
Yeah.
It's true though, because people like, they literally won't ask you about how's your day going, or they won't like even, they won't care about you until you literally die. Like there's people, like when my grandma passed away, like, you never were there, you weren't even at the hospital, then you show up to the funeral because you feel bad. Like it really just, people just do that so they won't have regret. Like, oh, this person passed away, I didn't say my last goodbye, so they just, I don't know. It's kind of like a selfish thing. Like if you don't really care, then don't pretend to care, because it's gonna make that person feel even worse. Like you're only here because I'm gonna kill myself. Other than that, you wouldn't even be here.
So you want people to check in more.
Yeah.
Just
like be
real.
be nicer to people. Like Like don't come to me when you need something. Just
or be genuine.
Yeah, be genuine.
Yeah. I can't hold it against people for not checking in like that unless you know.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying, like our culture is just, this is not the norm.
Yeah, it's not their fault because they don't know. Like if I'm always seeming to be happy, they're not gonna be like, oh,
exactly.
Yeah. But at least check it like from time to time. If that's your real friend, be like, hey, how are you, bro? Like how's shit going?
I know. Like when you moved out to LA, I used to like hit you up every now and then and make sure like you were doing good, like how's everything, and you know that only took 5 minutes out of my day, not even.
You could just respond. Next day you respond, so you don't have to respond.
Exactly, you don't have to respond.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's the subtlety of knowing that, you know, somebody else is like thinking about me. You know,
like that literally saved somebody's life. Like, damn, this one person asked me how I was doing today. Like, now I'm good for the next couple of days.
Damn, this is like little triggers like that. That you know, can keep
like reminders almost.
That you mean something to somebody else. Damn, I really. Like
At the end of the day, everybody wants to feel love. Like, I feel like that's the one. This is getting that deep.
That's like, great. Keep going.
Love is like what, like everybody wants to feel at the end of the day from something or someone. Like, that's really what it is.
Drugs.
You gon' wrap my face till my gums numb. Spent a lot of bread on the white buns. I don't buy no cigs, but I'll bum one. We ain't supposed to talk like this, but it's how we have fun. Last night I was slumped, fell asleep for 5 minutes, then I'm right back up. Fetty roll one up, don't ask what's in our cups. No drama in my party, but I got lots of drugs. You ain't hard if you gotta toughen up. Little baby go and fuck it up. I just wanna party while I'm here. I just wanna. Sorry I missed your call. 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 Guess I'm scared I ain't scared. Say it face to face, but I ain't there. They say I'll die from it soon. I'd rather live right now. You gon' wrap my face till my gums numb. Spent a lot of bread on the ganja. I don't buy no cigs, but I'll bum one. We ain't supposed to talk like this, but it's how we have fun. Last night I was slumped, fell asleep for 5 minutes, then I'm right back up. Fetty roll one up, don't ask what's in our cups. No drama in my party, but I got lots of drugs. Little baby, gon' fuck it up. You ain't doing it if it ain't spilling out your cup. But something for me, don't you think too much. Little baby, gon' fuck it up.
Alright everyone, that was our episode for this week. Thank you for listening. Thank you again to Darius for coming through and doing that episode with us. Again, we cannot stress enough how grateful we are for Darius to come through and doing that interview with us and being so vulnerable. If you yourself or if you know anyone who's going through any of these struggles, make sure you get help.
Also, I just want to stress this again. If you're battling this, if you're dealing with this, we just want to let you know that you are not alone. That tends to be the case when people battle this by themselves. They believe that it's only them, and they put up a wall from it on the outside, and they try not to let anybody in. We just want to let you know that you're not alone, and there's other people out there dealing with it as well. But we just want to emphasize once again that seek that professional help. That's what they're there for. That's what they do, and they will help you. But on a lighter note, next week we got Cam Randall coming through. So make sure you make some time in your week, because trust me, you do not want to miss that one.
Yo, again, everyone, thank you for listening. As always, I'm Brad.
I'm Devin.
And this is it.